Part 2 of my analysis. So as I was saying before, the Jaguars wasted Josh Dobbs' time trading a 5th-round pick for him last season. Trust me, when I saw that, I was very thankful that they, got a backup quarterback that we could believe in, and that was young, etc. Just to, wind up, waiving him, if not just plain cutting him, this past August. Actually, no, September 1st, right? Pretty sure it was September 1st. That's what I mean when I keep telling you people that, especially again, follow me on Twitter at NJ to the City, where I literally give all these analysis, these rants, and these critiques of not just my Jags, but literally anything and everything that I'm interested in, especially when it comes to football, college football, and NFL football. I'm telling you, the evidence could not be more clear. And God bless the Pittsburgh Steelers for having, common sense enough to say, hey, they waived our guy, let's get him back, etc. And then they put Duck Hodges on the practice squad. So it kind of makes some sense, doesn't it? People need to, again, totally understand. Gardner Minshew could have had a breakout, he could have had a breakout year, another breakout year more specifically, another breakout year, putting up monster numbers and proving that he's worthy of a new contract right spanking now. But instead, the Jaguars intentionally sabotaged him. Ladies and gentlemen, they gave him no defense, okay? They gave him a very young, undisciplined defense. Literally, the Jaguars, I think they say, is the youngest team in the NFL. And I don't know whether the Jaguars really thought that, hey, we could literally go undefeated or win enough games with this young core or this, young team versus, in order for us to potentially tank, we need this many young and undisciplined guys just trying to find their way in the NFL. I don't know about, what everybody else thinks, but I'm telling you, look at the tail of the tape. The Jaguars sabotaged Gardner Minshew and definitely didn't give about Josh Dobbs. I'm telling you, the organization itself, I'm just saying, you're my hometown team. I love you. I want to root for you. A lot of natives, from around the area love you and want to root for you. But you got to start giving us something more to root for. It's a darn shame that we literally have only had one winning season in 10 years. That is a blasphemy and a shame if you were to ask me. Literally. And I would tell you it's not because the organization isn't run by the right people. It's just they end up putting the wrong people, to coach us, let alone to draft for us, if not just coach. I would say both because I don't like Caldwell either, honestly. Again, it's not that I don't like these guys personally because I'm pretty sure they're great people personally as we, see in certain interviews and we see we saw during the draft with them interacting with their families and so on and so on. So I'm pretty sure they're great people, but they're obviously just not great coaches, if not also great GMs. The evidence, I don't think, could even be more clear than that if you were to personally ask me. The Jaguars, I definitely can tell you before the trade deadline, let alone in general. I don't care how much money you don't have versus you do have. There is ways to win and build a better team than what the Jaguars have done, if you were to ask me. Because I understand trading Foles' contract, if not cutting his contract up, more so. Cutting his contract up, came at a huge loss for us. I get it. Huge long money haul loss. But you also have to understand, whatever money that you had left from that, the point there is that you still could have and should have built a better team. Like, for example, keeping Leonard Fournette. Because I promise you, I meant it when I tweeted this out back when they cut him originally. Ladies and gentlemen, actually, two things. If Leonard Fournette goes to win a championship with Tampa Bay, then dare I say, that might have just been a part of God's plan to free him from the sorriness of, oh my goodness. It's amazing how I want to say this, but I'm trying to say it in the most fluent and clean way that I can. But, I'm just going to stop there, and I think you understand how to fill in the blanks for yourself. Because think about it. You went from a dysfunctional, or at least on the surface, a dysfunctional Jaguars organization to then go on at least when it comes to how the current structure is with, Tampa, you have ways to win and you're going to win. Whether you go to Super Bowl this year or you go next year, you're definitely Super Bowl, if not just playoff bound for the next 2 years with Tom Brady there. And that's definitely one of the biggest, pieces of art that we're getting at right now when it comes to Leonard Fournette, when it comes to Tampa Bay, when it comes to Jaguars. again, it's not to say you can't win with an entire young core, because you totally can, or a young team, you totally can. But I can't believe the Jaguars thought they were that hot of a team where they could actually do it. The Jaguars are not that hot. They're more lazy than anything, etc. They have a few splash plays here and there, and then other than that, they still keep losing. As I said before, they gave Garner no defense. That's like probably part one. They gave Garner no defense, and then you see Garner having to try to throw us back into games, which definitely has led to him throwing some picks or some throwaways and or getting some sacks. Garner is a good quarterback, and definitely I would say has the potential to hopefully be great in the right system with the right, supporting cast. And I'm sorry to Gardner Minshew that the Jaguars have wasted all that, and or just don't have that, but more so they wasted all that because they didn't care about building around him. The evidence could be more clear when you look at it, ladies and gentlemen. The Jaguars didn't care about building around Gardner Minshew. Because if they did, they probably would have kept Josh Dobbs, the guy they traded a 5th-round pick for. The reason why I say that is because how do you trade a 5th-round pick for a guy that's still under contract and then you waive him? Why do you do that? How do you do that? Etc. That's what I mean when I'm telling you right now. The NFL, let alone other major sport teams, sports leagues, and other other areas of sports, are just filled with people who don't know what they're doing, or filled with people who they know what they're doing, but they want to do it their way. Even if their way doesn't win them any championships, as long as they did it their way, they're happy and satisfied, which is exactly what corruption is. You're holding the team back because you want to win your way, even if your way isn't bringing any championships, Lombardis, and etc., through that door anytime soon. As I also tweeted out, ladies and gentlemen, and I've been saying this for a hot take minute, that the Jaguars are in a conundrum where they have multiple quarterbacks that they have no other choice but to take in this draft. The 3 quarterbacks that I look at more specifically is Kyle Trask, Mac Jones, or Justin Fields. Because if you get a top 2 pick, you're probably going to just get Justin Fields. But if you don't get a top 2 pick, or if you trade that top 2 pick, you definitely still have a good chance of getting one of those 3 quarterbacks, because their stock is definitely, Justin Fields' stock has been up there, and now Kyle Trask and Mac Jones' stock is totally rising, by the minute, by the day, by the hour, by the game. I mean, they literally have been the most. I'm telling you, these quarterbacks have been so consistent this year, week in and week out. That's literally what it is. Even in that loss versus Texas A&M, the Gators were consistent. At least their offense was very consistent with scoring points and giving their guys opportunities to make plays and run the table on the other team. And that's a big part of what I mean when I say, of course, I don't want the Jaguars to draft someone else because I love Gardner Minshew, but they have no other choice. Oh, and I just hope that it's not Doug Marrone and Caldwell doing it, because they don't deserve to do it. They don't deserve to do it. And if you look at my Twitter account from today, because today is Tuesday, Monday Night Football was yesterday, and the Vikings played versus the, I want to say, no, not Panthers. Vikings versus the Bears, if I'm not mistaken. You can literally look at my Twitter from today, and I literally, just tweeted out like 30 minutes to an hour ago some of the best coaching candidates I think the Jaguars should absolutely take up. Guys like Steve Wilkes, Todd Bowles, or if you want to go the college route, you go Will Muschamp, Hugh Freeze, and or everybody knows his name, undisputedly, Jim Harbaugh. Those are the names that I have. And the reason why I have those names is because I'm sorry, but the Jaguars, if they really want a fresh start, they have to, choose the right people, let alone new people, because trust me, I don't trust Marrone, I don't trust Caldwell anymore, let alone, I never trusted Caldwell, and I definitely don't trust Marrone anymore. I used to trust Marrone, but I don't trust him anymore, because the evidence couldn't be more clear. And then he wants to go in and say that after the press say at the press conference that losing hurts his soul. I don't buy that, and the reason why I don't buy that is because, as I said before, how many opportunities you've had to try to sign extra people, let alone make some trades and yada 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 yada. Don't tell me that losing hurts your soul when you cut Leonard Fournette and you traded away quite a few other bits and pieces of top tier talent that you definitely could have used and needed for this year. So don't tell me that losing hurts your soul, because obviously, no, it actually probably fuels your soul because you're still losing, and you're trying to blame it on Gardner Minshew, for God's sakes. How do you blame this losing season on Gardner Minshew? Please understand, or please tell me, how do you blame this losing season on Gardner Minshew? Have you not looked at his highlights and how he's played? Gardner Minshew has kept us in these games for the most part. Now, and by the way, God bless guys like James Robinson, because I'm not against giving young backs, let alone young undrafted backs, etc. I'm not against giving young backs their opportunities to grow and to shine and show that they're worth it. But at the same time, you had a power back in Leonard Fournette. You had your workhorse power back in Leonard Fournette. You know, so I don't get it. You had what you had in Leonard Fournette, and yet you still find a way to, cut him. And God bless Derrick Henry, Jacksonville native, but look what he's doing with Tennessee right now. Forgive my stuttering. Tennessee right now. Look what he's doing with them. Only one loss this whole season. That's why the Jaguars, not only are the franchise that they are right now, but trust me, only way things are going to get better is if you start over with the new pieces and the right pieces, to create the right culture and harbor the right environment. And I definitely believe that Gardner Minshew should still be a part of that. But the only way he's going to be a part of that, is definitely, I want to say, if the new coaching staff likes him enough, let alone he's definitely there ready to compete for anything. Because I would hate to trade him. I would hate to trade him, but at the same time, if we did, by God's grace, I'm going to follow him wherever he goes. That's just what that goes. I'm going to follow him wherever he goes. And so on. But if we were to trade him, like I say, I'm going to follow him and support him wherever he goes. But, if we do trade him, hopefully the Jaguars team will be in great hands with who we're not only going to hire, but who we're going to draft going forward. Because we have plenty of people in this draft to definitely build around and to just, own it with going forward. So I definitely hope that this analysis has been delightful enough, insightful enough, because I'm just saying the Jaguars, they did. I'm telling you, they told you they weren't tanking, but they went out there and did all the moves to prove they were tanking, and now the record proves you're tanking. And so on. And I definitely believe that the fans deserve better, the players deserve better. And it's similar to what I said in the last video or a few of my last videos when I literally said the evidence could not be more clear that when they said, God bless even having Gardner Minshew up there talking about the culture they have right now in the locker room. I hate to say it, but having the young team that they have, it just spews. This was indoctrination, and I mean negative indoctrination. That means anybody that didn't agree with our corrupt culture was out of here. No wonder why Yannick Ngakoue said, I want out of here. You traded away, what's his name? Traded away Calais, you traded away Jalen, you traded away, all those familiar pieces that, that I worked great with, let alone he probably knew that we were tanking to begin with. And he didn't want to be a part of that. And no offense to him and or even Jalen to an extent or whoever may have asked for a trade or just happened to be a part of a trade. It worked out for the best because you got out of a I want to say, front office wise, a corrupt situation, corrupt organization, and just pure indoctrination. Because I'm sorry, when you look at the record, the evidence could not be more there. You wanted people that you could control, and or you just knew that you were going to tank, so you just needed to go up there and say all the pretty nice things, and then look at where we are now. And I hope the Jaguars, if anybody from the front office or anybody from the organization that actually has power and actually cares about what the fans think, please take the coaching hires that I have suggested on my Twitter account, NJ to the City, into into consideration. Because trust me, I want to be a proud Jaguar fan, and you made me, like a lot of other Jaguar fans, just completely again sad and or even mad that this is our team again. A dumpster fire that's devoid of proven top-tier talent that we once had, all because you wanted probably a more controllable, organization full of people that wouldn't, that wouldn't question your authority or whatever the case could have been, would have been. You get the point, etc. Because the evidence definitely, clarifies and says something with what our record is, why our record is what it is, and then how we got here. So I think you understand the point I'm trying to make there. God bless you, boy, man. NJ to the City, out. Peace.